Hello everybody, Reggie Time here again with another charity kind of tank roll spin up video. This is, I haven't played a single hand since yesterday. I'm not sure if this is exactly the same bankroll as we left it with because it's kind of subject to exchange rates. My account is kept in pounds and obviously it translates to euros on the client. So there is natural deviations every day by a few cents or a euro here and there from time to time, but I haven't played a single hand since then. So yeah, just a brief outline of what we're doing. Some of you guys will already know, but I'm going to be playing or making at least, I'm going to be playing till the end of the month on Unibet, making at least maybe 10 videos, trying to make a video every day, but I can't really commit to that depending on work and if I get the right time to make videos. We have got quite a busy house. So, yeah, we're going to try and make at least 10 videos. Every single cent profit I make, assuming I make a profit, I'm going to give to 2 local social groups that provide discos and karaokes for adults with learning disabilities in my area. I'm hoping to raise at least £200 through my play and through donations. So if you do appreciate the content that I put out, please do consider making a donation to me on reg@holker.street on PayPal. We've already received £33 in donations, which is really pleasing. I mean, if we could get £200 just in pure donations, then I could make some money on top. That would be awesome. I mean, £200, it's not an excessive goal. I think it should be really easily met. That would allow me to give £100 to each of the 2 groups. So yeah, if you can spare a few quid just to throw across, doesn't matter how much. I mean, if you've only got a couple of quid or if you've got 100 quid, whatever it is, please send it over and I will guarantee it will go exactly where it is intended. So anyways, enough of that. Oh yeah, don't forget to like, share, etc. and all that bullshit. Let's get on with playing some poker. So we've got 194, so I mean hopefully we won't lose too much this session. We can play 25-0 for the entire session. If this does drop to say 120, then we won't be able to 4-table 25-0, so we'll probably drop down to 10-0. But hopefully we won't have to do that at any point, because that would be sad. I'm going to use different screen names today rather than using the same ones all the time. Don't fold straights. Apparently I folded a straight on yesterday's video, which is why we have that username today. Well, not apparently. Yeah, I did. I actually did fold a straight, so it was only in a very small pot, so it's not a big deal, but it does demonstrate a distinct lack of concentration on my part, which you will hopefully not repeat today. If you hear any strange purring noises, it is because the cat is currently exploring the microphone. What are you doing, mate? Oh well, you don't want to be stroked, that's fine. Most timid cat ever. She's weird. If she'll come to me on her terms, but if I approach her and she's unwilling to be approached, she makes some peculiar noises and runs away a lot. And we've had a best part of 5 years now, so maybe she's just a fucking weirdo. Don't really want to play heads up for long. And we'll give it a couple of seconds or a couple of more orbits maybe. And if the table doesn't fill, then we'll find one. I'll find a different one. And the way Unibet works is that you just join the pool like we as you saw when we're loading the tables up. So hopefully the next person that joins the pool will just automatically be filtered to this table and not empty seats at other tables. I'm not entirely sure how it works in that respect. Second pair, no kicker, nah. We'll give that a miss. This Chacal is at this table too and doesn't appear to be reloading, so possibly there's a possibility that he might be a kind of regfish type player, so I'm not too concerned about playing him heads up right now. Cat, no, you need to move away from here, cat. You can't be standing on my mouse mat. Go on, away you go. Oh, she's found the fucking straw she wants to play with. One over there. I'm going to see bet the ace queen here, 2 overs and some back doors. It's a reasonable spot to take a stab, and then we'll only continue on turns that either increase our fold equity or improve our actual equity, which the Deuce of Hearts doesn't, so we're going to be checking back. And folding to any river bets. Excuse me. So this bottom table could be a good table. We've got a guy open limping the button. We've got somebody buying him for 50 bigs. We've got somebody who's not reloading. So I think it's a reasonable assumption that none of these guys are in any way crushers, which can only be good for us. Fours could be good here. It's unlikely, I guess, but well, not unlikely. But it weren't good. Another 50 big blind player joining. Some of these 50 big blind players are still quite nitty, so we're not going to just assume that they're all raging fish. But we can assume that they're not skilled regulars. Maybe we're just not going to be able to fold here. We're just going to call and keep calling. If he's lucky enough to have a 4 or a full house of some description, then he's going to get all the money. Easy jam on the river. Hope he just calls it up with like King 10, King Jack, King Queen. That type of thing. Pocket Jacks. He took a rather strange line there, and we appreciate it. His 9 of clubs here is not the best of boards to check raise on. If we had like 2 overcards here, or maybe it was like Jack High with like a lower card, I would consider check raising for sure. But if we don't get top pair to fold, which is super unlikely, we don't suck out very often on top pair. Right, we've been 3 bet. This guy was 3 betting the fuck out of us yesterday. Now, obviously, he doesn't know who we are, but he was he was doing an awful lot of 3 betting. He was making it bigger usually, and it was usually when we were stealing and he was re-stealing. So this is definitely a different situation. It's something to bear in mind. We're not going to 4 bet the jacks, but we are going to call, and oh wow, now we're going to fold. When under the gun raises, middle position re-raise, and one of the blinds puts the cold 4 in. I think the bottom of his range here, unless he's a complete monkey, is going to be like ace king, and usually just bigger pairs. I think jacks versus their combined ranges is in pretty fucking rough shape here. Yeah, well, we know this guy. It's a pain. It's going to be a pain in the ass having him to our left, because we already know from yesterday that he certainly gets out of line with his pre-flop 3 betting. Alright, it's here and here too, right? So, yes, yeah, maybe he's just like a bad aggressive fish. I didn't remember until he 3 bet me that this was the guy from yesterday. So maybe he's just like a bad aggressive fish. He's not reloading. He 3 bets with, like, in my opinion, an exploitable frequency. So yeah, maybe he's going to be a handful, but maybe he's going to be fun too. Literally every table. I think it was yesterday too. Yeah, it's a funny one. He's not reloading. He's too aggressive, but he's at every table. So he's kind of like, is he a reg? Is he a shit reg? Is he? Well, that's just, who knows? Who knows? Let's hope he's got his 3-betting boots on here though, and here. Tempted to call here so we could back raise over his potential squeeze, but I don't think he's doing it with enough of a frequency. Good flop for the Kings. Hopefully he gets aggressive. But doesn't have us beat. Even if he does have us beat, we hopefully have a ton of equity. The only thing we don't have equity against is nut flushes. And I'm going to check back here and then just call or raise, because dealing with the check raise here would make me want to vomit, so I'm not going to bet. I don't really want to deal with the check raise on the river either, but we definitely need to be betting. We didn't do the spins yesterday. It looks like we've lost them, so we'll do any spins at the end of the video too. Them very rarely they're worth anything. But we'll do them anyway. I'm not going to raise the 8-7 suited into this 2's big blind, but we are going to limp with it. We're not going to do either of those things now. That's a good shot. We're going to stab. Give up if called or raised. Table 4 seems good. Does seem good. These are the hands that I sometimes enjoy 3-betting with, but not against people who aren't auto reloading, which my default assumption on those guys is that they're going to be kind of fishy. And when we're 3-betting with the Jack 8 suited, we are relying on getting a reasonable amount of folds, and I don't expect to get as many folds against non-regulars as I do against regulars. Just to clarify, by the way, I'm not guaranteed to play on Unibet until the end of the month. I'm going to play until I've made at least like 8 to 10 videos worth of content, and probably try and put at least like 10 to 15 hours in. And hopefully, if my hourly rate is around 8, we can make like over 100 for the donations. So yeah, I can't commit lots of time to it because at the moment my work situation is such that I need to be playing and profiting from poker to help me meet my financial commitments. So the timing of doing this isn't great due to when I've broken my contract in my current job, but the timing has to be now because I want the guys to have the money well in advance of the Christmas parties so they can put it to good use. Not good giving somebody money for a Christmas party like a week in advance when they don't know it's coming, because they don't know it's coming because they would have planned for it, they'll have budgeted differently, and etc. So I want to give them it at least a month in advance of the party so they can plan the party with the extra funding that they're getting. So yeah, the plan is at least 10 videos, at least like 14-15 hours of play, and that'll be about it. Then we'll start doing, because what I might do is just like excuse me, make all the videos in a week and then just release them a bit more slowly than that. If I was to say, for example, play another session tonight, I wouldn't release 2 videos today. I would just release tonight's session tomorrow. Then if I played another lunchtime session tomorrow, I would release that on the Thursday, etc. So yeah, maybe we'll get 14 videos produced in maybe 7 or 8 days, and then it'll be the end of the spin up. Well, hoped spin up. We might play a night session tonight, actually, when the wife goes to bed, just to see how different the games are in the night time to the lunchtime. We are definitely going to be check raising on table 4. I've started to develop a few more calls in small blinds, particularly when I think big blinds are fishy or not super 3-bet happy. I talked about it yesterday. I used to have a really strict 3-bet or fold rule from the small blind, but I think that's quite restrictive, and I think sometimes there can be cases made for flatting with some hands against in some certain tables. We'll be folding the 5 and the 4, which is a shame because the 5 and the 4 is pretty. Ooh, action. We have action. History. You go for it, sir. You fucking go for it with your ace. I mean, I think the ace jack's kind of 2. There is action. Ex-work phoning, messaging me. That'll have to wait. Busy man now. My ex-boss, because it's fucking bonkers. I've left the company, but I intend to go back working for them on relief. They enforce a month break. When you break your contract, they enforce you to take a month off. I think it's to dissuade people from dropping down to relief, which is ironic because they try and take most people on fucking 0-hour contracts. But when I've wanted to give up a contract to drop to one, they don't really want you to do it, so they try and dissuade you from doing it by forcing you to take a month off. Anyway, I've taken that decision to do that, and now you've got to do a whole fucking thing again. You've got to do internal references. I mean, I've worked for the fuckers for 4 years, but it's like this whole application process starts again. It's fucking ridiculous, to be frank. C-bet here with our 2 over cards and backdoor straight draw. Again, only barreling on turns that improve us. Considering betting there with our king 6, but I think I like to have some top pairs in my checking range, so we may as well put the weakest ones in there, I guess. Considering check raising on the table 2 with 2 overs, backdoor, everything. Sadly, he does not accommodate us by betting, and now we're just going to have to check fold. Definitely going to be going for a check raise on table 3 with our queen 3 suited. Easy check back here with second pair. Call turn if he leads. If he doesn't, we're just going to bet just to like deny equity to Jack 10, Queen Jack, Ace 10, all kind of stuff like that. It's certainly not going to be betting this river. I'm going to hope that the Jack hasn't improved him. Didn't, he just had the Ace 3. I'm not one for tanking when I'm just folding. People know that we race wide from the button. People know we fold a lot of 3-bets. There's absolutely no point in doing the whole, oh, look at me, I've got a decision fucking bullshit. It just slows the game down. It's fucking waste of time. If you know what you're doing, just do it quickly. Don't fuck around. There hasn't been a lot of 3-betting this table, so we're going to try and see a flop with the 6-7. Certainly not something I'd recommend doing in tougher games because you're just going to get 3-bet too often. But I think at this particular table where there hasn't been a lot of 3-betting and this guy doesn't have a full stack, so hopefully have decent implied odds, I think it's okay. Just going to check jam this turn. I mean, with reasonable chance we don't have the best hand if he double barrels, but not much we can do really. If he's got his B, he's got his B. Good for him. That's maybe a bad open with him on that stack size. That's probably a bad open. Bit of shitty autopilot there. I mean, we're just going to put him in now. Just protect our hand. If he's got a beat with a 7, then hallelujah for Joe Hogan. Yeah, well, no more loose opens while he's sat there on his fumes. As soon as I did it, I was like, fucking hell, Reggie. But never mind. No harm done. No harm done. Alright, are we not working on clearing any bonuses at the moment? We need to get our asses in the bonus shop then, don't we? Because I'm pretty sure I'll have one. Nope, no, not enough money for the bonuses. So we're not working on clearing bonuses right now, unfortunately. We get called in 2 spots with our light 3-bet, and it's time to shut down. We have an open and a 3-bet. Remember, these guys got Ace 3 and Ace Jack in. I'm not saying that's what they've got here, of course, but Pocket Kings is a super easy. I mean, it's a super easy 3-bet, 4-bet get it in anyways, but it's even easier when you've seen the guys turn up with all kinds of nonsense. Maybe could have bet this turn here, but don't expect to get a ton of folds from pocket pairs. Yeah, I think I missed a trick though. That should definitely have been a bet, and it's too late to bet now. Butchered it. Butchered the Ace 7 because I was fucking around trying to get bonuses. Ace Jack was going fucking nowhere there though, so definitely save money. Even though that shouldn't be result orientated, we should definitely have bet the turn. But as it turns out, our mistake worked out to our advantage. But still, don't make the same mistake again, Reggie. You fucking bellend. Apologies for any background noise. Our washing machine decided to go into its rather noisy spin cycle. I'm not sure if the microphone will pick it up, but I can certainly fucking hear it. It's doing my nutting, so yeah. Hopefully it won't be doing it too much fucking longer. Oh, it's getting louder. What's this guy doing fucking around with that €1.70? Some fucking self-respect, man. Reload or fuck off. That is a set on a very wet board. Sadly, our opponent did not have a piece of it. The ace jack suited has to be a defender versus the 3-bet. Of course, we're going to be dominated by a big chunk of his 3-betting range, but nevertheless, defend, we're probably going to call flop and then just fold to any further aggression. And we don't have the nuts on table 2, but we certainly have a bet and a very, very sad fold if he raises big. Interesting turn on table 3. It's going to force us to have to call again, especially versus that sizing. Not going to be calling versus a triple though, unless we hit a jack. A spade. I'm going to check and expect to lose for the high frequency. Maybe once in a while he has ace king. 8-9. Okie dokie. We'll take that. Not a huge fan of his 3-bet there. Did he have it? Was it offsuit or suited? Not suited. I don't mind it too much then. I'm going to be going for a delayed c-bet on table 4. No pen, no draw. He bets this river, we're just going to fold, of course. Three bet the ace queen versus Joe Hogan and call Winnie 4-bets. Stab once with that Jack 9 here on a board that's decent for our range. I don't always open small pairs from early position. I especially don't do it in speed poker, where you're just playing like a lot more reg heavy tables. These tables don't seem super tough today, so I'm more confident opening them than I would be in games where there's lots of reg activity. I'm not going to open this 10 deuce versus this big blind. He's just defending way too many hands and he doesn't have that much money. I'm getting very much playable right now. The 3-8, the 4-6, the 4-5 and the King 6. Not the combination of cards you want when you... Well, not the combination of cards you want at any time, but certainly not when you're trying to create content and talking points. So we know this dude 3-bets wide. We're not going to defend the 7-5, but we're maybe now going to start thinking about, again, we talked about yesterday, using smaller sizes, and maybe putting some 4-bet bluffs into our range as well. Probably going to be check calling twice with the Jack 8. Unless the turn is like an ace or a queen or something. going to start putting more. I'm doing a lot more calling out the small blind these days. It's been working really quite nicely too. Again, it's not something I'm of a mind to do in much more reggy games, but something I'm very willing to do in these games. It's an interesting turn card. Gives us some straight flush potential. Now we have a full house. So what do we get value from though? Queen X, like Ace, Queen, Ace, Jack. I guess we need to bet and just fall to a raise because he's just not going to raise us with a weaker hand. Let's check back a king and now wants to raise then. More power to him. I'm just not as into bloating pots when I'm out of position as I once was. Certainly not with marginalish hands. Of course it's exploitable. But I don't think I need to worry too much about that in these games when they're playing like this. In other days, if I'm playing at tables where people are being like super aggro pre, then we need to stop doing it, of course. I have to call with these 7C. We don't beat very much with the pot's tiny. And we do beat the Queen 5. Not a huge fan of opening these like offsuit stuff, blind versus blind, but it's okay. Let's start with a check. Jack on the turn, not ideal. Not ideal, the jack on the turn. The 10's not great either. King 8. Showed no interest in bluffing whatsoever. When you play, it's really important to try and get a feel on who are the guys who are like try and get the feel as quickly as possible. Who are the guys that are being active post flop, trying to get you to fold, etc., and who are the guys who are just playing like really fit or fold passive poker, because we have to definitely adjust to various players. If some guy like this, if, for example, against this Drac M now, if we would check to him in future and he was to bet, I'd be much more willing to fold than I would be against say Saffron, who we know is capable of running without the ball. We can't just have like one size fits all strategies. We do it first. We have our kind of try and play in a reasonably well balanced way, and a good way to do that is to learn how to do that. Sorry, is to go ahead and get the Doug Polk post-flop game plan. That will definitely help you with post-flop, and then when you've learned that, start to deviate from it against players who you think are either excessively passive or excessively aggressive. Racy with our flush draw versus OMG newbies. We get 3-bet. Probably going to have to at least call. Hopefully he just fucks off though, which he does. Relatively straightforward session so far, isn't it? Nothing too taxing. It's how we like it. Washing machine's deciding to get angry again, which I don't like. We haven't been punished once yet for our small blind calling. I like that. It's very much flies in the face of most of the things you will see and read on the internet about dealing with cut off and button opens in the blinds. It's way out of line with a lot of stuff you'll see, because there are still tons of people out there who say we need to 3-bet or fold a lot. I'm saying in the right games that is not the case. In the wrong games that is absolutely still the case. If I was playing fast forward or Zoom, for example, and I would be way less likely to try and use this strategy. But in these games, we just find that when we're just not getting squeezed, we're going to get squeezed occasionally, but it's going to be when people have good hands, and then we can afford to make some like call folds. Is it textbook strategy? No. Is it in my opinion, an okay strategy for these games. I certainly think it's better than 3-betting light. I think 3-betting light in these games, people are just too passive and sticky. So, if you want to have a 3-bet light strategy and then be out of position in bloated pots versus people who are quite sticky, then you're going to be creating a whole world of problems for yourself. When people are raise folding a lot from buttons and cutoffs, you want to be 3-betting a lot. When people aren't folding a lot versus 3-bets, then I think oftentimes it's better just to call and then try and play some poker post flop. Are you going to get outplayed sometimes? Yeah, of course you are. And when we're out of position, we get outplayed a lot, I would imagine. But I think overall, it's going to be a better strategy, both in terms of improving your win rate and also keeping you off tilt. Because I'm sure most of you guys watching, because I know I do, and lots of other guys do who I've worked with, there's nothing more tilting than 3-betting with like ace king, ace queen, ace jack, king queen, and there's like missing flops constantly, and then being out of position and getting c-bets called and not knowing what to do, or just check folding a lot. It's very taxing on mental game, way more taxing than occasionally getting squeezed is. So I think it's an important consideration. I just heard a door shutting outside. That may well be my wife coming home with a young lady who's getting some respite care with us today. If it is, then the video will be drawing to a close. If it isn't, then we'll carry on trucking. Not going to check raise this board. We are going to check call though. We have reasonable equity, but if we check raise and get action, it's very likely a number of our draws are going to be in relatively rough shape. Bet here. If he calls, we're only going to bet rivers on spades really, because he can have a lot of ace-x in his checking back range. But not that likely to have too many flush draws in his checking back range. So when we do hit a flush on the river, it's not as likely he has one, because surely a lot of his flush draws would just c-bet that flop. Be an easy check call 3 streets if he continues betting small. Very easy bet on the river once he checks back. Hopefully he gets paid off here by like jack 10, pocket 9, stuff like that. Don't want to see a raise really. Wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for him to have to raise here. I bet here just to ensure that draws don't suck out against us for free. Of course, if he raises, we're just going to be completely out of there. I'm not going to barrel this turn. He's just got a perfect check raising stack, which would make me feel quite ill. I'm just going to check down and hope he's missed hearts. We get donked into here. We have no pair, only backdoors. Not really sure why I discussed anything. I'll stab here once because this guy seems passive. Calls. We do improve our equity slightly, but I don't think it's improved us enough to want to double barrel here with a hand this week. Seems like a good flop on table 4. Feels like a reasonable turn on table 3. Put a very small raise in here so he can't fold a king. Or even a jack maybe. I'm just going to try and put him on the payment plan. And he was drawing dead, which is nice. I guess whilst we're in a quiet spot during the video, it's not a bad time to remind anyone who's still watching, presumably still watching because you're enjoying the content, that I am accepting donations for the social groups. My PayPal address is the same as my email address that can be found beneath the video, which is reg@holker.st. Please send as a friend or family so we avoid getting juiced by PayPal. I'm going to 3-bet the king queen suited. This guy's min opened the small blind pretty much every time. We haven't 3-bet him yet. Wow, Wow, look at that. That's a sizing versus a 9 big blind 3-bet, isn't it? Well played, Mr. Newbies. Yes, so please do, if you can afford to, please do donate. Don't feel bad if you are struggling financially and you don't have the funds to donate. No one's under any obligation to. All the content is, of course, free and will continue to be that way. But if you can spare a few quid, it is, I can promise you, it's going to some very good causes. If you can see the pleasure that the guys got from being parts of these social events, then you would surely agree with me that it's an incredibly good cause. Don't think we do enough in this country for the disabled. I think we ensure that they have full bellies and warm houses to live in, but we kind of don't do anywhere near enough to ensure they have a good quality of life outside of that. I'm going to fold the 9s here to the 3-bet and the double barrel. Ace King, which is the 3-bet. I guess we just 4-bet getting it in here. I'm never nice calling it off with Ace King pre-flop versus the 5-bet jam, but once we elect a 4-bet, there's really no other play. I'm just not a big pre-flop warrior. Never have been, probably never will be. I much prefer to take flops where we can, but Ace King off doesn't play that well post-flop in a 3-bet pot. I mean, if we don't flop a pair, then it's kind of hard to negotiate. But it does play well as a 4-bet. I'm a nit, but I like flops when I am entering pots. Not a huge fan of the all-in pre-flop shenanigans. Yes, we could have checked this Queen 8 back. It's not a 3-street hand very often, so maybe we could check the flop. Call some turn probes and what have you. But now we've been check raised and there's nothing which we can do about it. He could have a ton of draws here, but he's just going to continue barreling them and calling down with. I mean, see how the games are played for like the last hour of this video nearly and yesterday. To start, given how passive they are, how fit or fold they are, to start just like calling down versus raising. But the first time we get raised when we got top pair, I think it will be unnecessary. It's okay to be bluff sometimes. Now straight. I'm going to check here because betting and getting race would fucking suck really hard. It will suck less hard now. Trying to think what I might call. No, just going to check and bluff catch. And he didn't try to bluff. When we have like the lowest straight possible on a board where there's tons of higher straights and a flush available, it felt slightly too thin to bet there. I mean, maybe some of you guys will disagree. Maybe it was a slightly cautious play. Maybe I'm being slightly more cautious because I'm aware that I want to try and make absolutely as much money as possible. And you could argue then whether you should be going for your thin value bets, etc. But we're doing this just over a small sample size, and like maybe I'm going to end up being slightly on the cautious side with in terms of what hands we defend versus raises, what hands we like go for thin value with, what hands we bluff catch with. Maybe we're going to be slightly on the cautious side, but I don't think that's a terrible thing. Trying to make as much money as possible in a relatively short period of time, and avoiding some of the higher variance spots. I don't think it's a dreadful approach. I don't think it's a dreadful approach in general. It's avoiding some of the higher variance, like thinner value bets, thinner call downs, thinner semi-bluffs and things. I don't think overall it's a particularly bad strategy to beat these games anyway. But I'm aware that when you're making videos, if you do miss a value bet or if you do something slightly what people think is slightly wrong, people are quick to point it out. Approaching the hour mark, so at least we made an hour video. We're going to continue playing until the wife gets home. Try and cram as much volume as possible. Like I say, I'm trying to play 15 hours and create 15 hours of content. Now, whether that content comes over 8 videos, 10 videos, 12 videos, it doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to get 15 hours in between now and end of the month. It's kind of like an hour a day, but because it's like 15, 16 days till the end of the month, but maybe not have to play until the end of the month. That's kind of what I'm doing. So I guess I haven't really put tons of thought into it, but I guess it's like it's morphed into like a 15, 16 hour attempted spin up. But every second and every single hand will be recorded, so you guys won't miss a thing. Sometimes sessions will be longer, like this one maybe goes for an hour and a half. Once I've got around 15 hours of content onto the channel and hopefully been nicely recompensed in terms of donations, then I'll consider it job done. Tempted to check raise here and just give up if we get called, or we get jammed on. Obviously if we get called, we're going to give up as well, unless we improve. Yes, his next hand. Hopefully Ordinary is feeling a little bit salty. No, he's not. Because no one likes being check raised, do they? No fucker likes being check raised and having a fold. So I was hoping he might have just been a bit stung by it and made a loose open next hand. Which we've all done. Let's be honest. We've all fucking done it. We've all like been annoyed by something and just go, fuck you, and raised next hand. And then we'll all do it again. Nice. Not nice. But still, pick up 10 bigs unchallenged. I mean, we've played this now for an hour, this session. We've not got out of line. We don't feel our opponents have got out of line versus us very often. It's just been a nice, solid video of like, just, this is how we can get the job done if we're putting ourselves in games that aren't excessively taxing. My ranking of games is like Fast Forward on Party Poker is the hardest because it's just fucking full of bots and shit that never tilt and just play reasonably well. Then it's Zoom's next toughest, then Snap in terms of like Speed Poker, that's how it goes. But regular tables are pretty much always going to be softer than Speed Poker just because people play that a little bit looser. More regs tend to gravitate, is that even a word? Might be, not sure. More regs tend to go and play Speed Poker like for volume and convenience reasons, especially at the lower stakes where people are working and they just want to come in and play an hour or two and crush some volume. So I understand the attraction of Speed Poker games, but they're never going to be as good as regular table games. Certainly not at the micro stakes. If you're playing like 5-L Zoom and losing, or 10-L Zoom and losing, I think there's a very good chance you'd be a winning player if you played regular tables and just practiced a little bit of game selection. And that's assuming that you're not like losing with a really high win rate because you're just fundamentally bad at poker. If you're fundamentally sound at poker, but still struggling to win in the micro stakes games, then I would strongly recommend you try regular tables on any site as well. You don't necessarily have to change sites. Just regular tables, try and practice game selection. If you find yourself if you still find it difficult to find some softer games, well then you maybe want to consider a site change. I'm sure you can probably find plenty of soft 5 and 10-L tables across most sites in the regular tables, or softer than Speed Poker at least. It would have been a fun spot if we'd been in the pot, wouldn't it? Would have been in rough shape. There we go. One of the first really big pots we've seen. It's been like aces versus a strong flush draw. People just aren't waving the dicks around post flop too often in these games. It's important to understand that and then be careful that you're not the guy that's throwing a party for everybody else by being the one that's willing to stack off light. This guy's definitely active. We're going to try for another 3-bet versus him. We'll find it incredibly amusing if he puts the 4-bet jam on again. Probe this turn, probably check fold rivers if we get called. That is definitely the wife's car coming up. Now, I can always tell by her excessive revving on when she's like trying to parallel park or reverse park. The big rev always comes in because the clutch control's fucking diabolical. She can't just let the clutch out and inch her way through. She's and then it dies down. So I think we're going to end the video now. Leave all tables next big blind. We'll check the balance, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. We started on 194. It feels like we've won at least €25, maybe more. It looks like more, maybe. It'd be nice if we're up at 225. That'd be sweet. That'd be like 2 buying uptick since we started, or close to a 2 buying uptick. Over a 2 buying uptick, 2 and a bit. Definitely the wife. I heard the dulcet tones outside. Alright, Ash. Right, give me the V's as soon as you walk in. That is not very polite. Pack it in. Chop them off. Will. Bloody will. Just finishing my video off, Pet, with 2 secs. Don't be going to stick it telly on for a minute. We'll probably just play our button on this table then. Call it a session because the young lady who's come, she does like to watch the TV and I don't want to be delaying that for her. Just for the sake of a few hands that were very likely to fold. And then we've got 2 spins to do. We would have had the nuts here, which would have been nice. 5, these guys are taking the time, aren't they? Won't be a tick, Ash, on the TV in a minute, love. Alright. Last hand. King 9 off. In the bin. Let's get the lobby up, see what we've got up to. That can't be right, that 193. 229, so that's what? 29. 58 euros profit so far, which is pretty sweet. Let's do them spins. I'll just come up on the other screen, of course it has. We've won a free roll ticket, fucking hallelujah. 3 kings, wow, 10 bonus points. Rock on. No more spins. So there we go, that's going to be the end of the video. Ended on 229. That's where we start in the next video. Don't forget to donate, everybody, and bye bye for now.